Our last problems from section 5.5 deal with dividing by a monomial. So you have binomials or trinomials in the top. And so what you're going to do with these is break all of them into pieces. And it ends up being really easy. So your first problem is 10x to the 8th plus 15x to the 6th, all divided by 5x cubed. And what that actually means is you're going to take 10x to the 8th and you're going to divide it by 5x cubed. Keep your sign, which is plus. And then you're going to divide 15x to the 6th and divide it by 5x to the 3rd. Each of those small fractions will then simplify. 5 goes into 10 two times. Subtracting the exponents, you would get an x to the 5th. So your first term would be 2x to the 5th plus. Looking at the second one, 5 goes into 15 three times. Subtracting your exponents, you would get x cubed. So you would get 3x to the 3rd. You can't put those together because one's an x to the 5th and x to the 3rd. You can't put those together because one is an x to the 5th and one is an x to the 3rd, and they're not like terms. So that is your final answer. Let's try the second one. You have 16x to the 2nd plus 8x, all divided by 8x. So I'm going to take that and say it's 16x to the 2nd divided by 8x. Start completely back over, and then it would be 8x divided by the whole 8x. Simplifying both fractions, 8 goes into 16 two times. Subtracting your exponents, you're left with an x to the 1. So that would be 2x. In the second one, the easiest way to understand this one is that I can scratch out the x's because an x in the top and an x in the bottom go away. And dividing your number part, what's left, you would have 8 divided by 8 would give you 1. You do have to have a 1 as a placeholder there, so that 1 is very important. Our next problem, we have 21x to the 8th plus 15x to the 4th minus 9x squared all over 3x squared. So that would be 21x to the 8th over 3x squared plus 15x to the 4th over 3x squared minus 9x to the 2nd over 3x squared. Each of those three fractions will simplify out. 3 goes into 21 7 times. Subtracting the exponents, 8 minus 2 gives me 6. So this term would be 7x to the 6th. 3 goes into 15 5 times. Subtract your exponents, 4 minus 2 gives me an x to the 2nd. Bring down your minus. 3 goes into 9 3 times. An x squared and an x squared cancel, so that would leave you with a 3. So your answer is 7x to the 6th plus 5x squared minus 3. Next you have 30x plus 25 all divided by 5. So you're going to take 30x and divide it by 5. And you're also going to take 25 and divide it by 5. 5 goes into 30 6 times. The x doesn't cancel out, so you just keep it. And that would be a 6 times x. 25 divided by 5 would give me a 5. And so my answer for this one is 6x plus 5. Our next problem is the worst one. You have 16x to the 5th minus 9x to the 4th plus 8x cubed plus 6. And all that's being divided by 2x cubed. Writing it in pieces, we would have 16x to the 5th over 2x cubed minus 9x to the 4th over 2x cubed plus 8x to the 3rd over 2x cubed plus 6 over 2x to the 3rd. Each of these four fractions will simplify. 2 goes into 16 8 times. Subtracting my exponents, I would get an x squared. So this is 8x squared. My next term is negative, so I'll bring down the minus. 9 over 2 doesn't simplify, so I'm going to leave that as 9 over 2. Subtracting the x's, 4 minus 3 would give me 1x in the top, which would go with the 9. My next term is positive, bring down the plus. 8 divided by 2 would give me a 4. The x's cancel out. Looking at the last one, 2 goes into 6 3 times, so that leaves me with a 3 on the top. But it happens to leave me with an x cubed as well. But notice that x cubed is on the bottom. It has to stay on the bottom. So even though your answer, 8x squared minus 9 halves x plus 4 plus 3 over x cubed, even though that's really ugly with part fractions and part not fractions, that is your answer. Don't try to put it together. Don't give it one big denominator. You want to keep it in pieces. One more. In this last problem, you have some negative issues. When I rewrite this one, I'm going to copy it exactly like it appears. So the problem itself is 8x to the 6th y cubed minus 12x to the 8th y squared minus 4x to the 14th y to the 6th, all divided by negative 4x to the 6th y squared. So we get 8x6y cubed over negative 4x to the 6th y squared minus 12x to the 8th y squared divided by a negative 4x to the 6th y squared minus 4x to the 14th y to the 6th divided by negative 4x to the 6th y squared. I didn't change any signs. I copied it exactly like it appears. And now I'll manage the signs. Simplifying the first one, 8 divided by a negative 4 would give me a negative 2 result. X to the 6 and x to the 6 divide out. 3 minus 2 would give me 1y in the top. So that would be negative 2y to the 1. In the next term, two negatives make a positive. 12 divided by 4 would give me 3. Subtracting the x's, that gives me x squared, and the y's cancel out. Two negatives on the back make a positive. 4 divided by 4 would be a positive 1. Subtracting your x's, you would get x to the 8th. Subtracting your y's, you would get y to the 4th. And that is your answer. Since 1 in that last term is a coefficient, you don't have to write it, but you can. And that's what it would look like.